It was the end of January, and the air hovered right between freezing and not, hence the rain. Andrew produced their tickets at the door, where they showed the fake IDs they had purchased from a kid at school who knew a guy. The door guy hardly grunted at the IDs before he tilted his head toward the door. By the time 5 minutes passed, Andrew and Kurt had cheap beers in their hands. They were headed toward the front of the crowd. Andrew had never seen a world like this one. In fact, he had hardly been off the vineyard his entire life. His father, Trevor Montgomery, and his mother, Carrie Montgomery, were the top-billed real estate brokers on Marthas Vineyard, which meant they wanted nothing that the vineyard couldn't give them. Frequently, Andrew stumbled into his father finalizing property deals with celebrities in their fancy dining room, the one they never used. A few weeks ago, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston had laughed with Trevor Montgomery over 3 cans of Fresca like they'd known one another for years. The concert hall was filled with classic punks. Green mohawks, nose rings, bad tattoos, the kinds of people Andrew's father would have said were trashy or losers, and the kinds of things Andrew probably would have gone for if he didn't think his mother would have had a stroke. "Look at how hot that girl is," Kurt muttered into Andrew's ear. Andrew said, "Yeah, wow," even though he didn't know which girl Kurt referred to. Every girl in there looked the same to him. The concert began with an opener that nobody paid attention to except Andrew and Kurt. They had traveled all that way for the first real gig of their lives and wanted to focus on every single second of it, even if it hurt their eyes to do it. When Blink strummed their guitars for the first time, Andrew's heart shattered into a million pieces. Whatever emotion these guys gave him, he wanted to follow that emotion for his entire life. It had nothing to do with the stuffy life on Martha's Vineyard that he had begun to hate. It had nothing to do with the boxed-in life his father wanted him to live. Just after 1 in the morning, Andrew and Kurt scrambled back on Andrew's father's boat and revved the engine. Andrew zipped his coat all the way to his chin as he clutched the steering wheel with a gloved hand. The air that rippled over the sound felt like needles. "That show changed my life, man," Kurt howled over the sound of the motor. "I'll never forget it as long as I live." "Me neither," Andrew called. When they reached the center darkness of the sound, Andrew stopped the engine. He hadn't expected himself to do it. There was just something about the way you couldn't see where the night sky changed to the water beneath them, as though they existed inside a black globe, with the stars twinkling above. "Do you think you'll leave the vineyard?" Andrew asked Kurt then. Kurt collapsed to the side of the boat, grabbed a beer they had stocked, and cracked it open. "What do you mean? Like, after graduation?" "Yeah, I guess." "Man, I don't know," he replied. "Nobody in my family ever has. And you heard that guy who drove us up to Boston. People crave the life we have." The waves pulsed against the boat and tilted it to and fro. "My dad is so intense sometimes," Andrew said. "I worry that if I don't leave, I'll never get out from under him, you know?" "He can be a real SOB sometimes," Kurt agreed. Andrew chuckled. "But then again, I think about my siblings. Stephen already has Jonathan and Isabella. Kelly has 3 kids, with Lexi just a baby. I know Charlotte and Claire are itching to have babies with Jason and Russell. I don't want to miss them growing up." "You want to be Uncle Andy?" Kurt asked. A grin splayed across his face. "Sure. Who wouldn't want that? I guess you're right. If Beth has kids, I want to be around for that." Andrew's eyes flashed at the sound of Beth Leopold's name. She was a raven-haired beauty, no more than 5'1", with glowing green eyes and an easy, expressive laugh. At just 1 year younger than Kurt, she had chased at their coattails for as long as either of them could remember. Andrew couldn't pinpoint exactly when he had fallen for her, though. It had unfurled from his heart one summery day, maybe, when he'd realized he wanted no life without her. The thing of it was, now that she was 17, she had a boyfriend. Andrew shoved his hands deep into his pockets, hidden from the chilly wind.